Well, well. It looks like the boys are back in town. We're back for some Dudes Talking Manga, and it's been a while, folks. And I want to apologize for all of you DTM fans out there, all four of you, and the people who have been enjoying watching us.
For the millions at home, the thousands in attendance.
Two dunces stumble their way through pronouncing, various manga titles and character names. But you know what? It's all good because we're back. Deluxe Edition 13 dropped. So I stopped reading that middle of the mall shit. Those little editions, I thought, well, these aren't so bad. I like the front covers, but then you get your hands on the good shit, and you're like, this is much different, isn't it?
It's so much better. It's like like we even tried to lie to ourselves, like, oh, it's the little ones are nice, you can hold them, but I don't want to be able to hold them. I want to have to brace it when I'm holding it. Like it's the holy word,
Yeah, like a tome that I dug out of a dead man's grave that has the secrets to immortality that didn't work for him apparently because he's dead and he's in a grave. But yeah, I mean, and they're also good deals. So I was just super excited that these came in. This isn't why we haven't been around for Dudes Talking Manga for an episode for a while. Mainly it's because Andrew was dying.
Yeah, I sure was. In and out of the old hospital. Had the old gallbladder out, and it didn't do too hot. Also, we had quite the run, about a month of it. Had COVID, then the flu, and then after that, went ahead and had vertigo for the first time, which that was terrifying for 2 days straight. And then the old gallbladder just went ahead and said, "Out of here, boys." And so I had to get that. Yeah, and then in and out of the hospital for the past 2 weeks. So it's been rough. I guess that's why we call ourselves strugglers, and that's why we struggle on, though, right?
Yep. Thought you were gonna have your own eclipse. Thought you were
felt out. Like it. I did.
Yeah, I was interviewing many people for the co-host spot. Couldn't find anyone that vibed. I just
I thought we were gonna have to do it from the hospital bed, but they wouldn't allow me to have the Berserk in there. So I said it was scaring some of the other patients. So
yeah, we were gonna do this last weekend, but you went to the hospital. And I'm like, so many people commented, like, dude, when are you getting back to Berserk? Like, dude,
I'm trying.
And I was like, this weekend, and then you almost died.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, dude, no problem. And then I was back in the hospital. So,
yeah, absolutely. Black and Blue Collar Reader, which is a great name, says, "Hey, gents, haven't read Berserk yet, but I did buy for my 14-year-old kid. I read the first few pages, kid realization I'm not the best father." Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. You might want to wait till he's 24 for this.
Maybe a little bit, or put some covering over some of the pages or something. I don't know. My buddy reads it. Well, he changes the voices. That's where one of my actually two of my deluxes are. Hey, there's the camera.
Having a little technical difficulty. Hey, let's give it up for Andrew, by the way. And
it's finally the new setup, so we're happy we're back in the new setup. So
I mean, can we just give it a little bit of credit? And we were tired of staring at that crappy white wall that you had. Very non-aesthetic garbage.
It's terrible. And I tried to hang the banners. The banners fell. It was just trash.
It was. So, and you also had the sacrifice banner, and it wasn't even.
I tried.
It was literally in the way, like you were in the way of it. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
I know. My girl was like, "It's not in the right place." I'm like, "That's where it's at. That's where the tape is. That's where it's staying." So
yeah, you did much better with this setup because the last one was absolute rubbish.
Well, let's see if the camera stays up for now. So it's just like half taped on there. So
hey, we're struggling.
That's right. It's it, man. I mean, I'm just like with like a wooden crutch, like on a boat right now. So just give me some. I feel like the on Big Mouth, the hormone monster, like the old one right now. It's like half my eyes missing. Like,
Love BB4 Life says, just finished Daniel Green's Berserk video covering Deluxe Edition 13. Was wondering if you've covered it yet right in time for this. Yeah, so we won't be covering the entire thing because we haven't read volume 39 yet. So make sure that the spoilers only go up to 37, 38. I'm glad you're here. Yeah. Tell Daniel Green to buck up and get on this show, and he can be another dude talking manga. I'd love to have him as a guest. Lord knows we could use the ratings. Am I right?
Hey, boost her up.
Dudes Talking Manga doesn't keep the lights on.
She came out the gate swinging. I think
started this podcast and all I got was this t-shirt. That's it. That's all I got.
people are gonna just tune in just for the setup. I think just to see the new shelf.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
It is kind of
Definitely
funny.
not-
You have the dark shelf, I have the light shelf, so I don't know what that says. Like,
Well, white and black is a thing that Miura messes with quite a bit.
yeah,
Quite a bit in Berserk. So I think it's thematically sound.
I like
That's
it.
what I would call it.
Oh,
Listen, you're only going to get the best breakdowns here at Dudes Talking Manga. None of this hogwash. Listen, unobtainable. There's no way you could obtain this level.
Stand a chance.
Now, yeah, and there's a lot of shows in town, but there's none quite like this. Where are you going to get wherever I pronounce Silat or Salet 30 different ways every single episode? Like, you're not going to get that anywhere else.
You never let them know your next move. It's why you turn in. That's why you tune in.
That's right. I mean, listen, the usual suspects, all 10 of you that always show up are here.
Yeah, we got them. We got them, man.
Yes.
Love to see it.
Love to see the people back in the chat. Henrik, my boy, is also here. Let's go.
Nice.
Trill Nathan says, fun fact, the last chapter of volume 38 is a bit of a milestone for the series since it came out 8.5 years after the chapter where they first got on the boat. What? So that's why everybody hates this arc so much, because I've seen multiple people say the beginning of the Fantasia arc is the absolute worst part of Berserk. And I could see being a little frustrated by 8.5 years waiting for another chapter.
I mean, it's a long time on a boat. That is.
Yeah, that is
that's why one of the dudes. Okay, that makes way more sense. One of the dudes at Jiu-Jitsu was saying something about that. It's very similar to that. Why he didn't like it.
8.5 years is as long as it took me to get a bachelor's degree. And by that I mean I didn't get the degree. I dropped out.
Like, wait, you got a degree?
I dropped out and read Berserk, and now money kind of go.
That's the only education you need.
You're goddamn right. Okay, so we're jumping into volume 37, and we're finally getting rid of this sea god. Okay, the sea god is about out of our sight, and I gotta be honest, Andrew, I'm happy to see the man go. I was sick and tired of this sea god shit. I'm sick of this sea shit.
It was a long time. It was not too. I mean, we'll say it was probably a little too long with the old sea guy.
It's a slower beginning to the arcs. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I've liked Fantasia so far. I like the world change. For Attack on Titan, and I'm not going to say any spoilers for Attack on Titan, but there is a shift in Attack on Titan that everyone loves, and I actually, as a reader, didn't love it as much. Like, I actually like the pre-twist in Attack on Titan more than the post-twist.
Oh, I finally found my Attack on Titans, by the way.
Yes, the missing attack. For the people who watched 8 years ago when we did the last episode, Andrew had lost somehow. He had lost 12-inch 6 Attack on Titan deluxe editions
each books.
An absolute irresponsible lad is Andrew, and he found it. Found them.
And I started reading it too. I just cracked 2 because I was like, "Hey, man, I refused to buy them because that was way too irresponsible to lose." So now I get to read them. It's pretty exciting.
Which is excellent. And Ryo, I hope I'm saying that right. Hazuki asked if we're going to watch the anime. Yes, we are. Once we get caught up, we're going to do some anime stuff and give our thoughts on that as well. But the thing I was saying is that Attack on Titan has a twist moment, and I actually didn't love post-twist. Whereas in Berserk, maybe not a twist, but we get a world shift to the Fantasia arc where things really start to open up and get a lot more ridiculous. And this is like the real fantasy piece of Berserk. And I like it. I actually love this. In fact, I would say that if it hadn't happened when it had, possibly the story would have started dwindling a little bit for me. Like, I think it was really well placed. And so I'm enjoying it. So the Sea God stuff wasn't terrible, but I've been ready to kind of get past Mr. Tentacles and everything. And like, let's get it up.
Yeah, at least maybe get to another island and start getting, closer to our destination.
That's right. And I guess I'll just ask you, so what did you think of volume 37?
37 was not my favorite. It was definitely not my favorite. I enjoyed it. I think we got started on towards more character development. I think we see a lot more of that in 38. But again, I think it was necessary for getting to where we needed to go. I definitely had some highlights that I'll touch on a little bit farther down. It had its moments. It definitely had its moments, but definitely not one of my top. Definitely probably on the lower end of one on Not, I mean, not. I don't ever want to call Berserk bad, but I would say it's one of my least favorites. How about you?
No, yeah, I'm always enjoying whenever I'm reading Berserk. I've
Yeah.
never read a volume, been like, maybe, you know, even whenever we weren't doing the show, I was reading Berserk a little bit slower than I usually do. But you know, a lot of nipples in 37, which I liked. And and Isma has a mother. I thought that was
that was honestly one of my favorite parts. That was awesome to see that.
Yeah, and then Isma, you know, obviously it seems like it's gonna be a character that's gonna stick around, which I'm all here for. And then we get some more you know, Batman Berserk panels, which, you know, as much as I don't necessarily love the design of that, I still think that the panels kind of slap. So good stuff. I mean, the Berserker armor is great. I was just happy to kind of see it going over. The panel, I actually have it open right now, when Guts says, "We're the ones who have it cornered." Good 80s action taglines and stuff. But you said you had some notes from this one, and I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get I got the old lights, buddy. I'm not used to these fancy lights in my eyes. I feel like a superstar right here.
Well, I'm glad that you finally decided to get some lights. That's
good. I did. I think I got two brighter lights, but I haven't really figured them out yet, but we'll get there. So you touched on the one thing I was going to say is I was super excited to actually see. We've been alluding to see Isma's mother and to see if she actually was a marrow, and just that whole and really that whole scene of Guts, you know, inside, like being saved by the marrows. I thought that was super, super powerful. Love the imagery of that. That was definitely up there. And him, I gotta scoot a little closer here, man. These old eyes ain't what they used to be.
Well, I can tell you that I liked all the Marrow stuff. All the Marrow stuff is really strong. But we also see the Moon Boy. Moon Boy is here, and he, of course, disappears after everything goes down, and people are like, once the moon's gone, he's gone. And then we have this ethereal creature kind of guiding Guts. You can't see it at all, but you know, when Guts thinks he's at his very end, he is kind of being guided, you know.
Yes, and I also love to see too. We're getting less of it, but it's a more pronounced of Farnese with her powering up, her leveling up. I mean, we've slowly seen that, but it just seems every time she comes in on one of the panels, she's getting more and more powerful. And Surecase kind of taking a back seat to her to let her, you know, take over, especially once they get back on the boat, and she's casting that spell to heal him. I thought that was pretty awesome to see, as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now, so I mean, jumping a little bit forward, is it Cheech, the little
Chich?
So
I guess I don't know.
Did you see? So for me, that was a lot of symbolism of like how Guts, like for Guts and the armor, right? Because for her to, or him, her, what I'm not really sure, but for the fairy to use all of the leaves to save Guts, I mean, for me, it ran direct parallels of him giving up. You know, he's losing his sight, he's losing, you know, a lot of his motor skills to the Berserker armor. And I ran that parallel. I was like, oh man. For me, did you think that actually happened, or do you think that was still in his imagination?
Oh, like, I think it happened.
Okay. See, like
yeah, I think Chich is like really important to Guts's overall arc. Actually, it's an amazing like piece that we were missing. Like we never knew this happened.
Yeah, very true. And for him to go like that when he is at, you know, basically death's door, that was really cool. And honestly, I didn't catch as much of that until I went back and on like a reread, because I was kind of motoring through it because I was trying to play catch up, because I thought we were going to do it the other week, and I just did a reread this week, and that really stuck out to me a lot more this time around. And I mean, I didn't really miss it, but it wasn't quite as pronounced for me. So that was really a powerful thing in this.
Yeah, I think Chich, that flashback in that context is the best part of 37 for me. Yeah. I also really like the fact that they're saying that Moon Boy might have been an emissary from Alpha Island, and they kind of say that some elves have great powers that allow them to decipher fates that transcend time and all this craziness. But they were talking about it being a manifestation of King Hanafubuku. I hope I'm saying that right. Himself. And it's like, this is the first time we're getting maybe some sort of answer about Moon Boy.
That was pretty awesome.
Because we've talked about it before, because me and you thought maybe it was Guts's like unborn child or dead child. Like we kicked around a lot of terrible theories about it, but that was Yeah, that's the first time we finally got some sort of kind of context around it. And then we get this amazing shot of the moon, and the moon is covered in branches, for God's sakes. I mean, what's going on up there?
Yeah,
And
right.
then we see Moon Boy surfing the branches like it's,
Yeah,
the
hanging
final secret area of Elden Ring where Melania is, that crusty ass bitch. Now, it's good stuff. I liked it.
That was
I dug
definitely yeah.
but I was just happy for see God to be over. And Trill Nathan obviously is adding some good context here. It says Hana Fabuku. I know I'm saying it wrong. Flower Storm Monarch. Have no idea why Dark Horse did not translate it. Not a spoiler. That's literally what Japanese says, by the way. So Flower Storm Monarch. Gotcha.
Okay, cool.
Okay, good. Good to know. Good to know.
I thought another cool piece too was with the Night King or Skull Knight. I mean, saying he was just kind of like, yeah, man, I'm still like still getting my brain working.
You're
so,
good.
Like, I mean, directly saying every time you use the armor and fight as a berserker, you lose a piece of yourself. Just
yeah.
I mean, that's really the most in your face, on the nose. Them saying it basically as a warning. So, I mean, we're seeing, we've talked about it time and time again, but we're really seeing more and more of that. So, I mean, that's the interesting piece for me is how much of Guts has he, like, how much has he lost of himself?
Oh, he's in a bind, Bubba.
Yeah.
He's in a bind. He's in bad shape, and Skull Knight's prophecy is going to come true. I mean, that I think it's pretty self-evident. I don't see how that's going to be, unless if it's something where Guts breaks the wheel. But I don't see that happening. And Casca also is not going to be guaranteed that she wants to be healed the way that he wants her to be healed. There's a lot of questions in Guts' future, and none of it looks too bright, to be honest with you, which is super sad because he's finally getting true ties since the eclipse with our band. And in 38, he actually even says, I would have never made it this far without you all. So, he's throwing up gang. He loves them all.
Right.
And great moment. Great moment. Did you have anything else from 37 that you liked?
Not as much. No, I don't think I had anything like really stuck out. I did like the whole Martino thing. That was and honestly, I did like that little I don't know, call it a battle, but like a scuffle with the not Monarch, with that guy's kid when he was trying to.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was an interesting little take, and to see. I mean, you had a little bit of maybe Guts is going to get messed up a little bit more than what we thought there, because he was. I didn't know where they're going with that, and to see Martino come back, I thought that was a neat take to bring him back.
Yeah, way to tie it in.
And I thought he was going to go with him a lot more, but then Guts just, of course, goes on his own, and that's where we start.
Yeah, and Trill Nathan actually brings up a great point. Martina adds some context to Guts' trust issues even before the ban, which is cool. Yeah, it's a repeated trauma for Guts. Guts has never really had a break, and it's no surprise that it's impressive for him to be who he is today. Yeah. So we end 37 with the Sea God being slain, and with the help from the Marrow, Guts' party has defeated the Sea God. Guts, on the verge of death as a result of drawing out the power of the Berserker armor, is rescued by the Marrow in a mysterious luminous body. The party then follow as the Marrow guide them on to Elf Island. Meanwhile, on the mainland, Rickert, who I am so happy is back, is rescued from danger by the reborn Band of the Hawk as he makes his way towards Falconia. And then we get into volume 38, which is one of my favorite in recent memory, probably my favorite of the 30s, maybe.
I would say that's better.
I certainly liked it more than 37, and I thought it was a banger. So I'll kind of kick it over to you and your overall thoughts for 38.
Loved 38. And I thought it started a little bit slow, which I'm glad it did, because holy shit, we had a lot of action at the end. And one of my favorite parts that I know we'll get to. That I did not see coming at all. A little, but
well, yeah. I mean, let's just talk about it. So Rickert, we've been with Rickert and Erica for a long while now, and is very, very near and dear to my heart. They're some of my favorite side characters, and I love seeing everything through Rickert's perspective, because Rickert is somebody who actually has the full picture of who Griffith was in the Band of the Hawk, not the Hawk of Light. There's obviously a big difference for that. And he starts to also think about, think back on like, well, he had to have been devious. He had to have been slightly shady to pull something like this off. But what Rickert says in this volume is, keep my band out of your mouth, is what he said.
So good.
And cracked him in the face.
Dude.
Come on, let's go.
Slapped the taste out of his mouth.
One of the
oh.
best moments in Berserk.
Shoo, literally the slap heard around the world. Like I just kept opening that page, like, man, just
so
stellar.
Good. And the funny thing is, I literally took a picture of the panel right before that where it shows their faces and they're talking about the Hill of Swords. And it has it behind them and it's Griffith and Rickard's face. And I was like, I took a picture and I actually posted it in my Discord and I was like, man, that is so good. Like, what a great panel. And then next page, I'm like, what? Like, I did not see it coming.
Me neither.
And, you know, Rickard is he's an Ubermensch. You know, he's the man. I mean,
he's playing his cards, you know, close to, you know, playing his cards down, dude. I did not expect that to happen at all. Because I mean, he's super chill, and he even said before, Gut, you know, him remembering, Gut saying you'll never hate Griffith, and I was like, damn it, is he gonna really join? Like, and then he just bitch slapped him. Let's go.
Yeah, dude. And you know, here's the thing:
a lot of characters, man. Oh, good.
Rickard. I don't think Rickard does hate Griffith.
No, I don't either. I think
so Guts is right, but he can still slap taste out of his mouth.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a man of principle.
He is, and we also got Luca back.
Oh,
they screaming Luca back.
I was hyped. I loved it. It's one of my, again, we got Luca back, and then we got the old man. Wonder who that is in the hood. The old stablemate. Like, not too many people have dreadlocks. I wonder who that is.
How did you feel about Guts taunting the demon on John Doe? Loved it.
Yes.
I love it. I kind of like when Guts gets a little bit, you know, down and dirty, a little grimy, little gritty. But yeah, Luca's back. I love that. Yes. And then obviously we see the sorcerer who was helping out King Ganishka, I believe was his name. Daiba. Yeah, we'll go with Daiba.
All right. And then, like, honestly, I didn't know what they were gonna. Yeah, I didn't know what they were going like had underneath. Like, we was like, you can't go in the stables. And it's like, okay, what's under the stables? I forgot about his Tyrannosaurus. Whatever they're pterodactyls. You know, like, this shit was dope.
It was amazing, dude. And we gotta kind of give it up for Falconia because we're seeing this amazing land post Fantasia that is just, I mean, really captivating. And I think this is the first time where we've had on full display like Griffith's grandeur. Like it is everything that he was saying he was going to be. We've had like bits and pieces of people fawning over him and whatnot, but this is like the first time he is at the helm of the kingdom and people are, you know, impressed with his ability to recognize what's in his tea and everything that he knows. So Griffith, this is like him at full height. And then for that moment to also be countered with the slap. Let's go. Yeah. This was really well paced, and the shots, the artistry for the city.
Well, the sheer magnitude of it.
Yeah.
Just for it to jump off the page and you just get that, like, these are monstrous structures. Like this is, and even Rickard says something about it. Like, well, last time he was there, I think, was when they were trying to save him from being underneath the city. And they talked so much about, you know, the old hidden city and you know, what it was before. And this is just way more grandiose than that even was. And you're right. You nailed it. That's exactly what Griffith said he was going to do. And then he did it.
Yeah. And the royal capital is back. We see Charlotte here as well. I mean, just crazy.
He's got the Kushan working for him.
Yeah. The Pontiff is there as well. And they're having these really, I really like the scene where they're kind of burying people in these caskets and saying their last goodbyes. And then we see Sonya like interpreting from the dead for those people, like being an oracle, and they're seeing their dead loved ones. And now people are realizing there's something beyond death. Like there's something past the veil, which is humongous in any story. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm reading Ubik too, or whatever this is, like you were told me about. And I was like, man, I was reading it while I was reading this as well. So it was pretty cool to run those side by side. But
yeah,
no, that was definitely, well, then him essentially keeping people from death, keeping, you know, that's just going to add to his power and to his lore. But we see Sonya getting a little, she don't like Charlotte too much. She likes the battle worn, down and dirty Griffith.
She likes blue collar Griffith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say the Hawk of Light.
We'll say the Hockaflight. I think that's a fair way of putting it.
Yeah,
And also, one of the things I really enjoyed about Falconia is the fact that it has a little bit of that Rome vibe where, like, hey, we have sewage, we have plumbing, and now they're building fire hydrants, which gets tied into the final scene where we see Raxus, I think is how you pronounce that. Raxus get burned up because the fire hydrant was put with oil or whatever. And I love that whole thing. I like the fact that we're in a place where all the technology and all these people are coming together. So like it's a boom period. It's exponentially more advanced than what they had at Wyndham, and the Royal Capital is the place to be, I guess.
Yeah, it really is. Well, even for like Rickert to say something about that, because he is so advanced, and even like they were impressed with his crossbow that he had.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, really, that's a great setup for him. Like, hey, you could just come here and basically have all the money and everything you need to make whatever you want, and he's still like, you know what? Nah, I'm a man of principles. I mean,
the cost was too great.
It was. Yeah. I mean, talking shit on the Hill of Swords, like, come on. He's the one that did it.
Unacceptable.
Oh,
not in my house.
No.
Absolutely not.
Not even in Griffith's house.
That's right.
Not anywhere, boy.
That's right. And the whole Falconia place is just so majestic and almost like a miracle, but there's this underlying feeling of these war demons being there, and we see this fighting pit, which is really crazy. Rickert sees it and it's like, what the hell is going on? And Trill Nathan notices here that one of the apostles fighting the ogre in the arena is actually the guy who bit off Guts' arm.
Oh, damn.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So there's just this pristine condition to Griffith whenever he's seen by these people, but we as the reader have a little more context to see underneath that and to see the darkness that has built this up. And maybe this is maybe a time where we question, do the ends justify the means? For Rickert, it didn't.
No. Yeah, he's out.
He said, I will rather go with Erica, who's basically everything he has in the world, and he's going to go the tough way. He's going to literally go out on his own in this land that has been turned to darkness, rather than sit here and profit off of his band mates' deaths. So +1 for Rickert, man.
Well, and like now Salat is talking about that island that they have with all, like, that's a new piece. That's pretty exciting.
That's right.
So I mean, we're seeing all these pieces. We're seeing all these people that were on, I don't want to say like Guts' side, but we're at least, a fan of Guts. So we have some people in the city, and now we got some people building up that army for that showdown, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's also fun to see the fact that Rickert's like, Sealot is from like this. He's talking about someone. It couldn't be, could it? Yeah. It couldn't be. And he never says Guts, but we see like, the connection there. So it's just funny. Guts seems to be the core piece to the resistance, right? Mm-hmm. And in every single way possible. Sealot has become one of my favorite characters.
Yeah,
Farnese and Sealot are probably my two favorite. Rickert has to be up there. I mean, he's no judo, but he's damn close.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he's up there. I mean, he's very similar vibes.
Pour one out for judo.
Don't get on a keyboard.
Dude. Judo.
So I laughed so hard with the Raxus, like when they were having that fight, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm so sad now." When he split his mask, he's like, "I'm going home to get his new mask." Like, that was so preposterous.
What about whenever the elves are talking, and he's like, "This is the prologue to Berserk." I was like, Miura, stop it.
Like, dude, I'm a fan. I know some people weren't like necessarily a fan of like the forced comedy in it, but like, it's so ridiculous. I mean, I'm all for the absurdity. So I love it.
Yeah.
I love, Almond Head Puck. I love all the ridiculous stuff like that.
Look at these panels, man. I mean, that's just about as good as it gets, is it not?
I mean, gosh. And then too, like, because I've been reading some other stuff too, like Chainsaw Man and
yeah, you've been on a dive.
I have, dude. I have. That other one, I don't know how you say it. This Guyon, I think, the Last Magi. Dude.
Don't ask me.
Awesome.
The slap heard around the world. My God.
You can literally hear that page.
I mean, I literally just took a picture and I was like, oh man, that's a great photo. Rickert's going to be a little baby back pushover. And I turn the page and I just see bang, perfect form, pivot on the toe, hip turned in. I mean, this is textbook.
Textbook slap.
shoot box. This is very nice.
All I needed was the powder. Erica, give me my powder.
38 was a banger, man.
It was. I honestly, I didn't think it was going to be nearly as much of a banger as it was.
And it turned out it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think the next move is going to be for Rickert, Erica, and C-Lot?
I think they go to that. I can't remember the name of it. I should have put it down, but I think they go to that island and then they just gear up and then they somehow cross paths with Guts and then they just kick in the door Falconia and showdown. That's what I think.
Showdown. Okay. We are finally, by God, we're finally at Elf Island.
Dude, I can imagine. Like, I've never actually I've never had to wait. Well, I mean, we were waiting now, but we're still not caught up on Berserk. But having to wait that long to want to read something, man. People that have been in it since what I think it's 90 or no, wait, came here in 01 or 2, right? To the States when it got translated, and I think it was 01 or 2, I believe. I'm probably wrong. That it came to the States for that long of a journey. Man, to wait that long, I'm too impatient for that. I'm so glad we came in when we did because we had so much to read. And we still, I mean, there's 41 out now.
Yeah.
So like anybody starting, man, you got 41 of them to go through. Like, amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad that we didn't have to wait. We'll be caught up soon though.
Yeah, we will.
Then the format of this show is probably going to change a little bit. We might be doing more of a variety. We might be covering whatever we're reading, right? So maybe we'll get people just to jump in to hear what we've been up to, and we'll talk about things that we've read. Mm-hmm. Andrew over here, I mean, he's plugging away at the manga. I'm still on Monster, so I'm wrapping that up in April, I believe. I'll probably have that done. So.
Yeah, I'm about to rifle through that. I wanted to start Chainsaw Man. I got the old 20th Century Boys right behind my head.
Yeah, I want to read that. And Vagabond is one that we're going to do, and we'll probably be bringing on my buddy Alan for those because he actually went to college for that time period of history in Asia. Like he is,
wow, that's awesome.
He's like almost scholar at that point, right? Yeah. So I'm hoping to bring him on, and the three of us will probably talk about Vagabond. So
that'd be awesome.
So we've been Berserk heavy, clearly, but we are going to be mixing it up a good amount. So
yeah. And I love it too, man. I've just and to explore too. I was watching the video the other day. That's actually where I came up with that. I can't remember what it's like. Something. I don't know. It's Guin, Gwyn Saga, the Seven Magi. Again, butcher everything, but they're super cool. And it was apparently one of Miura's huge influences. This and Devilman were like some of his big influences. So I read it. I mean, I read the first one in no time at all, and I had to order the second and third, and I'm super excited about it. It's a leopard-headed king, bro. It's pretty sweet. Like,
yeah, that is actually pretty amazing. I love reading people's influences in literature, like who inspired some of my favorite authors, and I go back in that lineage. So I'm sure we'll do that with Miura and many other people. But we're on the Elf Island, dude. We're on the Elf Island finally, and I'm really, really excited. And I feel like it's just going to be absolute like diesel from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even talk about that with the. Like they're already getting like nothing's easy. Like they get to Elf Island, it's not like they have a good time already. They have
my God, the scarecrows are dope.
Yeah, they really are. I love how those are drawn. It kind of reminds me of the dude on Batman. What's his name? I think it might be actually Scarecrow. His name.
It might be. I mean, we already have Batman Guts, so why not bring in some Batman?
Batman Scarecrow.
And what the hell? A couple corn dogs.
I'm like. The doors are locked from the outside.
Thanks, Brett. We're glad to be back on Berserk and live for some Dudes Talking Manga. So folks, for people wondering what's coming after Berserk, we will have some specialty episodes for sure. What we might do for our specific ones is instead of doing editions one at a time, like we might cover the first arc of manga, as long as it's not too long. If it's massive, we might break it into parts. But we'll be covering a little bit more, and then maybe having some other guests on as well. At some point, I really want to make a video where I pick my favorite panel from each volume of Berserk and kind of chop them together and talk about why I chose them. So I think that would be a really good episode as well. So we're back at it. We're back at it. We're back in the saddle again. We got our Berserk t-shirts. We got it all, man. I mean, you know what? Let's special occasion. Let's hit the nut button. Nut. Let's go. Let's go. So we have struggled to get to this point, but Andrew seems to be on the other side of his health issues, and we're ready to gear up for 2023, man.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm so glad to be back, and I'm glad to not be in the old white wall with my half-ass taped up.
Yeah, you look much better in this setup, my friend.
I like it. I like it a lot. I feel a little more put together, a little more professional. You know, I mean, we are with the Jimmy Nuts from.
That's right. Yeah, this Dudes Talking Manga just brings the channel down essentially, but we it's an anchor I've decided to pull.
Hey, she started out strong. That's all I'm saying.
And the second to last chapter of volume 38, 341 is when Miura switched to digital illustrations. Interesting. I'll have to go back and see if I can tell.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate it. Gardenhead, the band says, yay, so glad it's still going. Well, we're happy to be here. Hey, hit like on this video. It helps out a ton because YouTube doesn't love live streams, so they don't do much with them after the fact. But we'd like to have more people watching. We think that at the very least, it's funny to watch us fail. So why not join in the fun?
Right, essay stuff.
Yeah, why not join in on the fun and making fun of these two middle-aged white dudes who can't pronounce anything at all and don't know enough about the medium. But hey, thanks for being here.
Pictures are pretty.
Yeah. Pictures are pretty. You're damn right. Chat, thanks for being here live. If you're watching this after fact, thank you for being here. Feel free to drop comments on this video if you want to give us some recommendations or anything that we maybe have missed. I know this wasn't as deep dive as we usually do. We used to do like really intense. I shouldn't say intense, but we would get very much into the nitty gritty. We want to get back in and just kind of get our feet wet and have some fun tonight. So thanks for being here. We'll be reading volume 39 and covering probably just that solo volume in the next video. And that should be in about 2 weeks. We'll probably do it at the weeknight as we did this time. And Andrew, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me. I'm super glad to be back. Love it. It's been way too long.
Yes. So remember, until next time, be good, be safe, hit that like button. And remember to always
keep turning the page
and struggle.